If you want to see two examples of beautiful, elegant, but easy Thanksgiving tablescapes, keep watching. Welcome to This and That with Denise Jordan. I teach women how to make wise home, health, and beauty decisions so there's less chaos in their homes, they lead healthier lives, and they feel beautiful from the inside out. And today, we're tackling the chaos associated with Thanksgiving holiday and how am I going to decorate the table? That's one of the big questions that so many women have. They want to put on a beautiful table, but they're really not sure how to go about it. Thanksgiving is that time of the year when I will get out my good china. Because, when else are you going to use it? I don't use it every day. Sometimes I will get it out for Sunday dinner if I'm doing a fancy occasion for me and my husband or for some good friends. But Thanksgiving is certainly one of those times where I do want to get it out just so that I can share it with those people that I love most. Because really, if my family and friends aren't good enough for it, who am I saving it for? Let's take a look at my tablescapes. Now, if your house is anything like mine, you have family eating in just about every room. And this is my kitchen. And I like to have my kitchen as neatly and as elegantly decorated as I do the dining room. So this is my tablescape for my kitchen table. And I love the fact that my table is round. I purposefully got a small round table when I bought this particular set because since it was just the two of us, I wanted something that was pretty cozy. I do have a leaf that I can put in here, but I'd like to keep it round and small for most occasions, and Thanksgiving is no different. So here is my tablescape for this very cozy but rustic Thanksgiving table design. This is a little vase that I've always had. I think I picked it up at a thrift shop for less than $5. This bottle of wine was a gift. And then these decorations that are on the table, this is a vase I think was my great-grandmother's. And it actually belongs to my sister, but she left it here for me to use. So I thought I'll just incorporate it into this tablescape for Thanksgiving because it certainly went along with the colors that I wanted to use. I love wood. I like things to be as simple and as elegant as possible. And so I thought, let's bring together the colors of Thanksgiving. The whites and beiges that you see outside, the wood tones, and then as well as some of the other earth tones. And then of course, some of the kind of bluish gray things that you also see at this time of the year. So now let me show you what this particular table set incorporates. First of all, this little soup bowl, a two-handled soup bowl, I've had for quite a while, and I only use them rarely, special occasions, but one of the dishes that many people will serve at Thanksgiving time is a squash or pumpkin soup. So you've got your two-handled soup bowl here that you can serve your soup in, and then you've got your salad plate or smaller plate. And if your family's like my family, they've got 2 plates full of food. So you've got your smaller salad plate here that you can have a salad with. And then you've got your dinner plate. And then look at these sweet little chargers. I picked these chargers up at Tuesday morning. They were just $3.99 each, and I just thought they were absolutely gorgeous. This brown wood tone, and it perfectly complements the blue with the rustic kind of brownish clay look that you get with these plates. I picked the plates up at Pier 1. I did get them on clearance, I believe last year, but they are perfect for this particular setting. These table napkins I actually made myself. I made them for my daughter when she got married, and she's not into rustic, so I took them back. But I thought it would be nice just to include the colors, the burgundies, the beiges, the reds, the greens that go along with Thanksgiving or that go along with fall into this tablescape. Very simple to do. And these are from my everyday place settings as well. Even though I don't use these particular soup bowls very often, these small plates, and I've got dinner plates that I use all the time. So I wanted to incorporate some of the things that I don't use often, as well as my everyday things as well. This particular champagne flute. We're going to have wine with dinner, and so we'll have a toast with our guests. And the blue of this particular champagne flute picks up the blue in the plates. And then these glasses here, I bought when I bought this place setting. So again, I've had those for years and we use them all the time. And then of course you've got your flatware on the table, your knife, your teaspoon, as well as a soup spoon. And then a fork with a salad, and then a dinner fork here as well. So I really like this arrangement just because it looks so nice, so classy, but it still has that rustic feel about it. And everything that's here, I pretty much already had at home. And that's one of the things that I think is so important, is that when you're decorating for a holiday, you don't want to have to go out and buy something new every time you go out. You want to be able to use some of those things that you already have. And pretty much everything on the table, I already had. The only new piece was these brown chargers. And I just felt that the table needed something else, and those chargers were what it was. So there's that. Now let me zoom in on the place setting for you. So you can just see right here how this brown here on the plates just really picks up that wood charger. And then of course the colors in the napkin all complements everything nicely. And there's a closer view of my centerpiece. Now I will say this. My husband does not like fussy, and he does not like clutter. So for him, this is just a little bit too much, just a little bit too close. But I did convince him that for one day, just one day out of the year, we could do this. Thanksgiving is one of those times where you do tend to see more full centerpieces than usual, whereas typically I will go with something just simple and clean. Maybe just a pitcher or a vase of flowers in the center. But on Thanksgiving, I like to expand just a little bit. So he can work with this for one day. Here we are in my dining room. And Thanksgiving is one of the few times of the year that we actually use the dining room for dining, rather than me using the table for a workspace. And I am really loving the setup that I have this year. I wanted it to be warm, but I also wanted to get out my good china, which I have here. Because again, Thanksgiving is one of the few times of the year that I get that stuff out. Also, if you take a look at my centerpiece right here, you notice that my centerpiece is not real tall. I don't like a lot of real tall candles or real tall flowers. I like for people to be able to see each other across the table or down the table, so I don't have anything real tall. What I do have is this metallic pumpkin in oranges and a little bit of burgundy and greens. And then in front of the pumpkin, I've got a gold pumpkin that's gold with black polka dots on it, which pick up the polka dots from my cheetah print tablecloth. I love using this tablecloth for Thanksgiving because I like the warmth that it gives. Because china itself can be kind of cold or kind of cool, but when I pair it with this cheetah print tablecloth, it just really warms things up quite nicely. The napkins that I have here are napkins that I made for a different event years ago, but I'm using them now for Thanksgiving, and I like the way it pulls all the colors together. The burgundies, the greens, the golds, and the black pulls together the tablecloth, but it also pulls together the color scheme from the centerpiece. This pumpkin here is one I picked up at a thrift shop, and it's like a little candle holder. There's like a little tea light down in there, and I can light that in the evening. And then I've got another candle back here that I can light in the evening as well. And then my chandelier lights, I can dim them. I'll show you. I can dim them and then light the candles and kind of set the mood. But for purposes of the video, I thought I'd have it as bright as possible. And then I've got a little bit of foliage underneath there, and then of course some flowers here, and I'm loving this particular orange and kind of deep sunflower. So that's what I've got going on with the centerpiece. And then, as I said earlier, I've got my good china on these gold chargers. And I got the chargers at the Dollar Tree. They were just $1 each. But this china I've had for a while. And then these napkin rings I got from Pier 1 on clearance last year. And they're just gold antlers. But they pick up the gold from the chargers as well as the gold tones in the pumpkin and in that pumpkin and this bigger pumpkin. So I really feel like it all works together. Now, if you're hosting Thanksgiving for the first time, you don't have to feel like you've got to do all of this. I've been hosting Thanksgiving for a while, so I've had time to accumulate a lot of things and time to practice what my particular style of hosting a major holiday is. What you want to do is find out what's your style, what's your thing, and how do you want the guests to feel, because at the end of the day, when your guests go home, they're not going to be talking necessarily about how pretty the table was. What they're going to talk about is how good the food was and how much they enjoyed being together. So think about that. You don't have to do all of this. You just need to have a place for your guests to sit, to eat, to laugh, to talk, and to reminisce. So don't feel like you've got to do all of this, because you don't. Thanksgiving is about sharing time with your family, letting people know how much you love and appreciate them, and just counting the blessings and giving thanks for what you have. So whereas we've come to the point now where we like to do this huge spread and get formal or informal or as cozy as we like, but it can also be quite simple. So let me show you what you could do without doing all of this. My niece Christian is hosting Thanksgiving for the very first time, so I just want to share with her a few tips that would make things simple and easy for her. We're going to have most of the food in the kitchen. So one of the things I like to do is just cover the kitchen counter. I've got this old lace tablecloth that I've had forever, but I get it out frequently. And I like the fact that it lets the brown of the countertop show through. So it picks up those earth tones. But the other thing is this. I like to use something like a box top or something like that to provide a little bit of elevation on the counter. So I'll put it underneath the tablecloth. And you can't see that it's just a lid for a paper box. So I get it positioned where I want it. And then I just zhuzh the tablecloth up around it. And then spread the rest of it out on the counter. And I don't like it to hang down on this side because there's a drawer here that sometimes you might need to go in and get out some flatware. So I don't like to have that hang down there, but I got this here. So then I could put my turkey platter on top of this, give it a little bit of elevation. And if the turkey's here, then the dressing's got to be close by. So I'll put the dressing dish here. And maybe we've got another meat, maybe ham or roast beef, and I'll put that over here. Macaroni and cheese usually goes in this dish, maybe corn or green beans. Cranberry sauce can go in this one. And of course, you've got to have a gravy bowl, so you've got to have plenty of gravy for that. Turkey and dressing and mashed potatoes. So I'll put this gravy bowl right there. My family likes hot sauce, so I'll have hot sauce there along with salt and pepper. And we'll put this dish here just in case there's something else that we want to serve. So this is how I would just set the counter up. Just nice and simple, but then you gotta have somewhere for the drinks. And I like to have the food over here, and then I'll put the drinks over on this side of the counter so that people can go there for drinks and come here for food, and they can serve themselves food mostly from this side, but they can get food on that side if they need to. And then let me show you how I would put the plates. A craft table right here, and I use it for crafts, but when I'm entertaining, I'll bring it in, I'll put it right here at the end of the counter, and I'll put my dishes and flatware and other things right here so people can pick their dish up here and then walk around and serve themselves. I always put my flatware in this little chest, that way people can just reach in and get out what they need. Stack the plates right here, and I know these plates are huge, but Thanksgiving is one of those days where people just really want large plates. So there are plates there. So here's my beverage counter. I've got miniature cans of Cokes and Sprites, bottled water, 2 pitchers set out, one for iced tea, one for lemonade, and then of course my tall glasses that people love to use on holiday time. They like to fill it up so they can fill it up once and not have to run back and forth with those smaller glasses. And then of course there's a set of smaller plastic cups for the children. And next to that is the Keurig for those people that want coffee. So there's your coffee station. You've got some coffee cups set out. And then there are the syrups and the sugars and things like that that people would use with coffee. So nice and simple. So there's the beverage station. There's the counter set up. Again, you've got the chest for your flatware, your plates next to them, then your napkins, your food setup. And over here, you have a very simple table. Nothing fancy at all. So Christian, as you get ready to host your first Thanksgiving, these are just some simple ideas from Aunt Niecy to help you host a beautiful and festive Thanksgiving holiday. Thank you so much for joining me as I shared with you my 2 Thanksgiving Day tablescapes. I had so much fun putting those table designs together. It was really kind of neat because I was able to pull out some things that I've had for a while, a couple new things, and just really put together a very elegant, very cozy table designs and rustic table design for the kitchen. I'm just really loving what I was able to do, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So my question to you is, which table design did you like the best? The rustic table design that I had going on in the kitchen, or the more elegant table design that I had going on in the dining room where I had out all my good china and my crystal and that kind of thing? Which one did you like best? If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And hit that little bell icon so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. I'll see you in the next video. This is Denise Jordan saying goodbye.